Genesis. Why read this book? If you're like most people, you wondered about the deep questions of life. Why are we here? What is life all about? Genesis takes you back to the beginning of time to find the answers. It tells about many beginnings: the first plants and animals, the first man and woman, the first sin, the first news of God's salvation. It also shows God's dealings with Noah, Abraham, and others, demonstrating his desire to fellowship with his people. Who wrote this book and when? Moses probably wrote it around 1440 BC, but since he was not an eyewitness to the creation, he relied on revelation from God and perhaps earlier oral or written records. What period of history does it cover? From the time of the creation, a date that can only be speculated, to the time when the Israelites arrived in Egypt and grew into a nation, about 1800 BC. Why was it written? To show that when God made the creation, it was good. But Genesis goes on to say that when sin entered the world, it corrupted the creation and caused God to initiate his plan for salvation. Genesis provides the framework upon which the rest of the Bible builds. To whom was it written? Since this book announces that all peoples on earth will be blessed through Abraham, it seems fair to conclude that all people can benefit from the account of this patriarch and his descendants. What to look for in Genesis? Notice the focus Genesis places on the relationship between God and humanity, broken in the garden and restored through the sacrifices and personal encounters with God. Through the stories of history, Genesis illustrates cycles of sin and repentance.